Aloha, and welcome to Hawaii Travel Made Easy, the podcast that helps you plan a stress-free, unforgettable trip to the Hawaiian Islands. I'm Marcie, a Hawaii travel expert and mom of two, and I've been to Hawaii more than 40 times. Yes, you heard that right. One of the biggest questions I get from first-time visitors is, are luau's worth it? Maybe you've seen stunning photos of people wearing leis under tiki torches while hula dancers perform in the background. Maybe you've heard that luau's are overpriced tourist traps. Or maybe you're just not sure which luau to pick and don't want to spend a bunch of money on something you won't enjoy. Well, in this episode, I'm going to break it all down for you. We're talking what a luau actually is and what to expect, the most common questions people have about luau's, my personal experiences with luau's on each island so you can decide which one is best for you, luau alternatives if you're not sure you want to commit, and how to avoid common complaints and get the most out of your experience. And before we jump in, if you want even more help planning your trip, I have 7-day itineraries for each island, plus an island hopping guide with 1 to 3 day mini itineraries for each island. These are packed with hotel recommendations, must-do activities, including luau's, and insider tips, and you can grab them on my blog or Amazon. All right, grab your notepad or just sit back and relax because we're diving into the truth about luau's. So, what exactly is a luau? Traditionally, a luau was a Hawaiian feast called an aha aina, which means gathering for a meal. In ancient Hawaii, these feasts were reserved for royalty or special occasions, and men and women had to eat separately. That all changed in the early 1800s when King Kamehameha II ended this tradition, and the modern luau was born. Today, a luau is a celebration of Hawaiian culture featuring music, dancing, storytelling, and of course, food. But not all luau's are the same. Some are authentic cultural experiences, while others are big commercial productions that cater more to tourists. At a typical luau, you can expect live entertainment, which would be hula, fire knife dancing, and Polynesian drumming. There's also traditional Hawaiian food like kalua pig, poi, lomi lomi salmon, and haupia. There's also cultural activities like lei making, Polynesian games, or even learning a few hula moves. And they're usually in a beautiful outdoor setting. Most luau's are held at sunset with ocean views. But here's where people get confused. Not all luau's only showcase Hawaiian culture. Some include Tahitian, Samoan, and even Fijian elements, which is why it's important to know what kind of experience you're looking for. All right, let's get into the most common questions I hear about luau's. I get messages all the time from people who want to book a luau but aren't sure if it's worth it, which one to choose, or what to expect. So let's clear up some of the biggest concerns. Number 1, are luau's really worth the price? This is hands down the most asked question, and I get it. Luau's aren't cheap. Depending on the location and experience, luau's range from $100 to $250 per person, which can feel like a big splurge, especially for families. So what are you paying for? Well, at a good luau, you're getting a full buffet or plated dinner featuring traditional Hawaiian foods, unlimited drinks, including Mai Tais, pina coladas, and non-alcoholic options, live entertainment like hula dancing, fire knife performances, and Polynesian drumming, and cultural activities like lei making, ukulele lessons, or learning to hula. So, if you're looking for a fun, immersive way to experience Hawaiian culture, a luau is totally worth it. However, if you're just in it for the food, there might be better options, which I'll go over later. Number 2, what's the best luau for families? Most luau's are kid-friendly, but some are better suited for families with little ones. If you're traveling with kids, I recommend luau's that have engaging activities before the show, like coconut husking or hula lessons, a kid-friendly buffet with simpler options like grilled chicken, rice, or fresh fruit, and a shorter runtime. Some luau's last 3 or more hours, which can be long for little ones. Some of my top picks for families are Toa Luau on Oahu. This is a small, interactive, family-friendly luau. They even have an afternoon option, which I haven't seen anywhere else. There's also Aulani's Kava'a Luau on Oahu, and it's Disney's take on a luau, which is perfect for kids. And there's the feast at Mokopu on Maui. This is a plated dinner, and it's great for families with older kids. All right, number 3, what should I wear to a luau? Luau's are casual but festive, so you don't need to dress up too much, but you do want to embrace the Hawaiian spirit. So for women, a breezy sundress, maxi dress, or a fun aloha print outfit. For men, an aloha shirt with shorts or linen pants. And kids can kind of wear whatever they want. For shoes, Sandals, flip-flops, or comfy flats. Avoid heels since most luau's are on grass or sand. Question number 4, is the food actually good? Well, this depends on the luau that you pick. Some luau's have amazing food, while others are more about the show and less about the meal. So, if you want high-quality food, opt for a plated dinner luau like the feast at Mokupu on Maui. If you're not a fan of Hawaiian food, don't worry. Most luau's offer familiar options like grilled chicken, steak, or seafood. Question number 5, do I need to book my luau in advance? Yes. Luau's sell out fast, especially during peak travel seasons like summer, winter break, and spring break. I recommend booking at least 1 to 2 months in advance. If you're traveling during the holidays, book even earlier. Now that we've covered what a luau is and answered some of the most common questions, I want to share my personal experiences with luau's across the islands. I've been to a lot of luau's, and I have strong opinions on which ones are worth it and which ones are overrated. Each island has a different vibe when it comes to luau's. Some feel more intimate and authentic, while others are huge productions. Some focus more on Hawaiian culture, while others highlight Polynesian traditions from across the Pacific. So, let's go island by island, and I'll break down the best luau's, my favorite experiences, and which ones I'd recommend for different types of travelers. If you're visiting Hawaii for the first time, chances are you're heading to Oahu. Oahu has the most luau's to choose from, ranging from intimate cultural experiences to large-scale dinner shows. So let's talk about my favorite luau's on Oahu. Toa Luau is number 1. Toa Luau. Located at Waimea Valley, this is a smaller, more authentic luau that focuses heavily on Polynesian culture. You even get a full day at Waimea Valley included, so you can hike to Waimea Falls before your luau. This is my favorite luau anywhere in Hawaii. It's family run and it's such a special experience. We've been 3 times and it's always a great time. There's also Experience Nutridge Luau. This is one of Oahu's best kept secrets. It's small, super interactive, and set in the forest above Honolulu instead of at a resort. You actually get to participate in cultural activities like learning how to play traditional games. It's authentic, intimate, and perfect for travelers who want a deeper cultural experience rather than a big touristy show. Plus, there are some insane photo spots on the property. There's also Aulani's Kawa'a Luau. If you have little kids, the Disney Luau at Aulani is the way to go. It's kid-friendly, beautifully produced, and the food is fantastic. It's a storytelling luau about the Ko'olina area on Oahu. Mickey and Minnie do make an appearance, but it's pretty short. It's definitely not a Disney-heavy show. There's also the Mauka Warriors Luau. I haven't personally been to this one yet, but it is high on my list because it offers something totally different. A warrior-themed performance set on the edge of Honolulu. If you're looking for something unique, this one is worth checking out. It's got great reviews. Another really cool option in Waikiki is the Rocka Hula Show. It has a Las Vegas show vibe, complete with tribute artists like Elvis and Michael Jackson. I admit that I went into this show a little leery and I was completely blown away by the production value. They also have the option to just watch the show, which is great if you don't want to spend money on the dinner. There are plenty of places to eat nearby. Okay, so now let's talk about an overrated luau on Oahu. Paradise Cove Luau. Okay, I know a lot of people love this luau, but honestly, it feels like a big tourist machine. Yes, the setting is beautiful and the show is fun, but it's crowded and the food is just okay, and it feels less authentic than some of the smaller luau's. There's also something going on with the lease, and I think the luau is moving somewhere else at some point. I don't recommend it. All right, let's talk about Maui. Maui has some of the best food in Hawaii, so naturally their luau's step up the game when it comes to dining. Here are my favorite luau's on Maui. The Feast at Mokupu. This is a high-end plated dinner luau and is one of the best luau's for food lovers. Unlike buffet-style luau's, you get a gourmet multi-course meal and everything is beautifully plated. It's a luxury luau experience, perfect for honeymooners or couples. Plus, it's right near the water for some epic sunset views. This is by far my favorite luau on Maui. The Old Lahaina Luau. This is Maui's most famous luau, and for good reason. It's authentic, beautifully run, and features a Hawaiian-only show. That means there's no fire knife dancing. It books up months in advance, so if you want to go, reserve your tickets early. They also have an option where you can sit on the ground closest to the stage. These are the same prices as the regular tickets, but they sell out the fastest. And yes, the Old Lahaina Luau is open after the Maui fires. Okay, let's talk about an overrated luau on Maui. I personally didn't like the experience at the Myths of Maui luau in Ka'anapali. It was super commercial and I felt a bit claustrophobic even though it was outside. I don't recommend this one. Okay, the Big Island has some great luau's, but also some of the most mixed reviews when it comes to food and show quality. So, what are the best luau's on the Big Island? The Hawaii Loa Luau at the Fairmont Orchid. This is one of the most intimate luau's on the island, with incredible food and an oceanfront settings. It's perfect for couples or foodies looking for a more luxurious experience. They also offer some fun pre-show activities, and they even have a kids buffet. Another one is the Royal Kona Resort Luau. This is a great mid-range option with solid food and an oceanfront setting. It's not as high-end as some of the others, but it's a great choice if you want a classic luau experience without breaking the bank. I was super impressed with the food, and the show was pretty nice. Okay, let's talk about an overrated luau on the Big Island. I had the worst experience at the Island Breeze Luau at the Courtyard by Marriott King Kamehameha Hotel in Kona. They moved it inside due to weather, which is totally understandable, but then the food was weird and they barely did any dancing. It was so bad that our entire table of strangers left before the show even began. I have friends who have gone and had a great time, but our experience was really awful. Finally, let's talk about Kauai. Kauai has fewer luau's than the other islands, but the ones they do have are set in stunning locations. So what are my favorite luau's on Kauai? The Auli'i Luau is Kauai's only oceanfront luau, set in Poipu. It's a small but well-done show, perfect if you're staying on the South Shore. This luau has the best pre-show activities, and they have an amazing photographer who takes incredible sunset photos. We love them so much that we did a few locations, and I brought all of the photos because they were so much nicer than other luau photos. This is my favorite luau on Kauai. There's also Smith's Family Luau. This is the luau I've been going to since I was a kid, and it honestly hasn't changed much since the 90s. And that's sort of a good thing. It's the only luau I've been to that incorporates Asian culture in addition to Polynesian culture. What's cool about this luau is that the show takes place in an amphitheater after dinner, so everyone has a great seat for the show. There's also an option to take a boat ride down the Wailua River prior to the luau. Another option is Luau Kalamaku. This is a unique luau at Kilohana Plantation. It's a storytelling luau in the middle of the dining area, and the show is seriously mesmerizing. It gives off a lot of Moana vibes. There's also an opportunity to take a train ride around the plantation prior to the show, so it's great for families with little ones. Finally, there's the Ahi Lele Fire Show. If you want something different, this show focuses on fire knife dancing rather than a full traditional luau. They tell the story about how Hawaiians got fire, and they mix in history and legends. This is an awesome option if you've already done a luau somewhere else or are just interested in the fire knife dancing. Okay, are there any overrated luau's on Kauai? Honestly, I've actually never been to a bad luau on Kauai. They've all been pretty good. Okay, so what if you're not sure a luau is right for you? Maybe you're still on the fence about booking a luau. Maybe the price tag seems too high, or you're just not sure if the experience is something you'll enjoy. If that sounds like you, here are some great alternatives that still let you experience Hawaiian culture without the full luau commitment. Free hula shows. Did you know that you can see amazing hula performances for free? Many shopping centers and hotels offer weekly hula shows featuring local dancers and musicians. A few of the best free hula shows include the Royal Hawaiian Center on Oahu. They have live hula shows several times a week. Whalers Village on Maui. They have great performances in a beachfront setting. And there's also Kukui Grove on Kauai. They have free shows featuring talented local dancers. If you just want to try authentic Hawaiian food but don't care about the entertainment, skip the luau and grab a meal at a local Hawaiian restaurant. So where to go for authentic Hawaiian food? Helena's Hawaiian Food on Oahu is an iconic James Beard award-winning restaurant. There's also Ono Hawaiian Foods on Maui. This is delicious home-style Hawaiian dishes. There's Mark's Place on Kauai, which has incredible high-end plate lunches. Their beef stew is my favorite. There's also Umeke's on Big Island. This is poke and fresh island flavors. If you're more interested in the history and meaning behind Hawaiian traditions, check out a cultural center or a museum instead. A few of the best places to learn about Hawaiian culture include the Polynesian Cultural Center on Oahu, which has an immersive Polynesian village experience. Bishop Museum on Oahu, that's Hawaii's best museum for learning about its history. There's the Kauai Museum, which has exhibits on Hawaiian culture as well as plantation life. and the Lyman Museum on the Big Island, which has great exhibits on Hawaiian culture and history. All right, let's get real for a second. While luau's can be an amazing experience, they aren't perfect for everyone. I've heard all kinds of complaints from travelers, and honestly, some of them are valid. But the good news is that most of these issues can be avoided if you know what to expect and how to choose the right luau. So, let's break down some of the most common complaints about luau's, and more importantly, how you can avoid them. Complaint number 1, the food wasn't that great. One of the biggest complaints I hear about luau's is the food doesn't live up to the hype. Some people expect a gourmet feast and end up feeling disappointed with buffet-style options that can sometimes feel a little, well, mass-produced. So how to avoid this? Go for a plated dinner luau. If you're a foodie, I highly recommend a plated dinner, like Feast at Mokupu on Maui. This luau serves multi-course meals instead of buffets, and the quality is much higher. Also, lower expectations for buffets. If you're going to a larger luau, know the food is meant to serve hundreds of people, so it's not going to be restaurant quality fine dining. And finally, check reviews before booking. Some luaus, like Old Lahaina Luau on Maui, are known for their excellent food, while others are more about the entertainment than the meal. Complaint number 2, it felt way too touristy. Some luaus feel like a big commercialized show rather than an authentic cultural experience. So, how can you avoid this? Choose a smaller, more intimate luau. Luaus like Experience Nutridge on Oahu and Toa Luau on Oahu feel more like a gathering place rather than a giant tourist attraction. Look for luaus that focus on Hawaiian culture. Some luaus mix in Tahitian, Samoan, and Fijian influences, while others focus exclusively on Hawaiian traditions. If you want a purely Hawaiian experience, go with Old Lahaina Luau on Maui. And skip the big resort luaus. While resort luaus are convenient, they often lack authenticity compared to independent luaus. Complaint number 3, the drinks were watered down or overpriced. So many luaus include complimentary drinks, but I've heard from a lot of people that they taste really weak or sugary, or that premium drinks come with a high price tag. So how can you avoid this? Look for luaus that offer top shelf options. Some luaus have unlimited Mai Tais, but others charge extra for their premium cocktails. Another idea is to pregame at a bar or your hotel. If you're worried about spending too much on drinks, have a cocktail before you go and stick to the free options at the luau. You can also order beer or wine instead. If you don't want to risk a sugary, watered-down drink, beer and wine are usually more consistent. And finally, complaint number 4, the whole experience felt rushed. Some luaus cram everything, the activities, dinner, and the show in a short window of time, making it feel chaotic rather than relaxing. So, how can you avoid this? Arrive early. Many luaus offer pre-show activities like lei making, ukulele lessons, or coconut husking. If you show up right at dinner time, you miss out on a lot of the cultural experiences. You can also choose a smaller luau. Larger luaus often feel rushed because they're trying to serve and entertain hundreds of people at once. Smaller luaus offer more time for interaction. And look for luaus with interactive elements. Some luaus allow you to participate rather than just watch. The best luaus immerse you in Hawaiian culture. Now that we've covered common complaints and how to avoid them, let's talk about how you can make the most of your luau experience. Whether it's your first luau or your 5th, there are a few ways to maximize your time, enjoy the best views, and really immerse yourself in the experience. Number 1, arrive early for the best seats. Most luaus don't have assigned seating. So if you really want a great view of the show, get there at least 30 to 45 minutes early. Front row seats are best for kids and photographers. If you want amazing photos or videos, try to sit close to the stage. Some premium tickets include reserved seating. If you're willing to pay a little extra, some luaus let you reserve VIP seating in advance. We've done that with several luaus, and it's always been worth it, in my opinion. Number 2, take advantage of the pre-show activities. Most luaus offer fun, interactive activities before dinner starts, but a lot of people skip them because they don't realize they're happening. Try lei making. It's a fun, hands-on activity, and you get a beautiful keepsake. Maybe learn a hula step or two. Many luaus offer hula lessons before or during the show. And watch the imu ceremony. The imu is the underground oven used to cook the kalua pig, and many luaus include a demonstration of how it's unearthed. And tip number 3, know the best time to take photos. A lot of people make one big mistake when it comes to photos. They wait until after dark when the lighting is terrible. Instead, take sunset photos before the show starts. The best light is right before the sun sets. And capture videos during the fire knife performance. This is usually the grand finale, and it's incredible to watch back later. Okay, now let's talk about luau etiquette and what to expect. Hawaiian culture places a huge emphasis on respect, and luau's are not just a dinner show, they're a cultural experience. To make sure you show up as a respectful guest, let's go over some basic etiquette rules and what to expect. Number 1, respect the performers and culture. Please don't talk during the show. It's okay to whisper to your table, but don't be the person having a full-blown conversation during a hula performance. Also, applaud after each performance. Show appreciation for the dancers and the musicians. And also, no flash photography during the show. It's super distracting to the performers and the audience. Number 2, what to do if you're late. Life happens, and sometimes people arrive late to a luau. If that's you, here's what to do. Check in quietly and wait for a server to guide you. Don't try to find your own seat while the show is going on. Also, skip the pre-show activities. If you're late, you'll probably miss them, so don't interrupt them trying to catch up. And number 3, tipping expectations. Some luau's automatically include gratuity, while others leave it up to you. So here's a general rule of thumb. Tip your server if it's a plated dinner. 15 to 20% is standard if the service was good. Tipping dancers isn't required, but it's appreciated. If you love the show, some luau's allow you to tip the performers after the show. All right, that's a wrap on today's episode. Hopefully now you know what to expect from a luau and how to decide if it's the right experience for you. So, my quick recap. Luau's are a cultural experience, not just a dinner show. Some luau's focus on authentic Hawaiian culture, while others include Polynesian influences. If you want high-quality food, go for a plated dinner luau like Feast at Mokopu. If you're traveling with kids, pick a family-friendly luau with activities like lei making. If you're unsure, consider luau alternatives like free hula shows, food tours, or farm-to-table Hawaiian dinner. I've dropped a bunch of links in the show notes for my full and honest reviews of specific luau's. Want more help planning? Grab my Hawaii itineraries and island hopping guide on my blog or Amazon. If you found this episode helpful, please subscribe and leave a review. Your support helps more travelers plan their dream Hawaii vacation and ensures I can keep bringing you the best tips. I'd love to hear from you. What are your thoughts on luau's? Have you been to one before, or are you planning to try one for the first time? DM me on Instagram at Hawaii Travel with Kids, or visit my blog for even more in-depth guides. Mahalo for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode. Aloha.